Hi, I'm Leah from Inspired Quilting by Lea Louise. Welcome to my sewing room. Today I want to share a Batik and Low volume charm square quilt with you. This is a pattern I originally did called the Baby Brick Path that was released last year, and it was really popular. So I wanted to redo it into a lap size quilt and still using the charm packs, a little different on the color combination, but I really like how it turned out. This is a fun and easy lap quilt made with charm squares. All you need are 4 packs and you'll have a quilt in no time. Follow along and I'll show you how to do this. Here is the fat quarter selection that I've chosen for this version of the Baby Brick pattern. We're actually going to make a lap size quilt. The Baby Brick required 2 charm packs. This will require a total of 4. So that'll be 2 of our focal fabrics and 2 charm packs of our low volume. I have some charms pre-cut already in my low volume, but I have a lot of fat quarters that I want to use. This is sort of a bright summer tropical selection of fabrics that I really like, and I think that's going to be fun against the white low volume. I'm not using creams. I'm going to be using white with a little bit of gray, and there's a lot of white on white. So it'll be a great bright contrast next to these colors, yet it'll still add a little bit of interest to the background. So we want to have at least 20 different fat quarters if you're going to cut it yourself in order to get a good variety of fabrics. Here's the start of my new quilt. These are the batiks that I've selected. I want to use approximately 20 different fat quarters. They're going to be cut into charms. Now, I decided to use fat quarters because that's what I had on hand. When I use fat quarters and I want to make a charm quilt, I just cut them into charms. So this way, I'm going to get 6 out of each color. And if I have, let's see, 20 different colors, that means I'll have 120 different batik fabrics. And for this quilt, I only need 84 of the bright batiks, and then I need 84 of the low volume. So I'll have more than what I need, but that's okay. It's always nice to have extra charms cut for another project. So once your charm packs or your charm squares are cut, let's go ahead and move forward. And now the fun begins as we start assembling our quilt and putting all these beautiful colors together. This is a basic patchwork, so the easiest way to assemble your quilt is with chain stitching. And in order to do that, you're going to start in your upper corner. The bottom piece is going to be your first square, and on top of that will be your second square. You're going to sew this 1/4 inch seam, and now you have your first block set there. Come down to your next row, do the same thing. You're going to do this all the way down 12 times because we have 12 rows, each having 14 squares. So once we get this going, we're going to do the first row of 12, then we add the third, then we add the fourth, just in the same manner. You see how these just are added on and turned over. And once we get to 14, we're finished. And let me show you a quick tip that I use. The expanded downloadable pattern has a grayscale picture or diagram of the quilt itself. And you can come in and do some color placement. When there's a lot of different colors, I like to have them a little bit balanced. I don't want all the blues and all the greens, unless that's where you're going, and that's your choice. But in this one, I wanted to have them laid out in a way that they're balanced across the page. So I took my markers and I kind of laid out some general guidelines. And as I'm sewing, I can also see the pattern. And you see here, I have my color, my white, my color, and then the next is going to be the color. So this is also a great way to check that you're using your pattern and laying out your blocks correctly. So at this point, you're good to go. Start your corners here, get your chain stitching, get all 14 blocks laid out on this sewn together, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to connect these rows, and your quilt will be finished. Don't you just love a quilt that goes together quickly and finishes up in a day? They're one of my favorites, and that's what I love best about charm squares. So I've gotten all my rows put together. Notice I've also gone back and pressed. So each row, all the seam allowances go in one direction, but they're the opposite direction in the next row. That way, as I'm sewing, I can nest all my seams and make them look wonderful. Just need to press some of these up a little bit. And then Once those are all pressed, put together, we have ourselves a beautiful little quilt coming together. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'll get some pictures to put on there for you. And I can't wait to see the quilts that you get done yourself. This has been such fun to share. These are some great results for an afternoon's worth of work. Just a bit of quilting and not much cutting, and look at what we have. This beautiful Batik Low Volume Charm Pack quilt. I hope you enjoy making your own, and be sure to get the pattern down below. I've had fun sharing this with you today and look forward to being together again soon. Have a great day.